escalation of rhetoric between leaders from Washington and Pyongyang is adding to an already growing sense of pessimism that the peaceful denuclearization of the Korean peninsula is possible. But diplomacy is still the first option. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is seeking China's cooperation to curb North Korea's nuclear provocations and paving the way for President Donald Trump's first visit to China in November.
We have preparation for President Trump's important visit, so we want to talk about the agenda for that visit, and then we'll continue our discussions on a number of other issues that are important, but certainly North Korea will be on the table for discussion.
China is North Korea's #1 trade partner. Washington says enlisting China's help is key to cutting off Pyongyang's ability to earn hard currency.
Sanctions on various entities in China, in other countries, all of these designations target North Korean trade, North Korean entities, North Korean illicit proliferation, and it certainly has had an impact on the ease with which they are able to make transactions. It's cut down on their ability to earn hard currency, and it is having an effect of increasing pressure on the regime.
But Asia expert and former Reagan and Bush administration official Douglas Paul says China's influence over North Korea is limited.
The North is very reluctant to take instruction from China. It'll exploit whatever it can get from China, but it doesn't look for political guidance from China. And so this is a problem that we in South Korea are going to have to handle directly with North Korea as we go forward.
South Korean Foreign Affairs Minister Kang Kyung-hwa said earlier this week in Washington that although time is running out, there is still room for diplomacy. Tillerson's Beijing visit follows one by U.S. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, who has said China needs to provide fair and reciprocal treatment for American companies.
Off we go. Into the wild blue yonder. Climbing high into the sun. Here they come. Zooming to meet our thunder. Atom boys, give her the gun. Down we dive. Spouting our flame from under. Off with one hell of a roar. Fame. We'll go down in flame.
When Mao Zedong was China's preeminent leader, he famously once said, "Women hold up half the sky." To this day, many remember the slogan, which some analysts note was more about boosting the country's workforce than gender equality. Decades later, as women fill a growing number of management positions in the private sector, China's Communist Party is still largely a club for men. Vice Premier Liu Yendong is one of a small handful at the top, but she is not a member of the top decision-making Politburo Standing Committee and is unlikely to move up in the upcoming reshuffle, analysts say. According to party statistics, women account for less than 25% of its members, and only a quarter of some 2,300 representatives who will attend the 19th Party Congress are women. Righting that imbalance is important if the Communist Party wants to remain relevant, analysts say. But with its focus on big projects such as the Belt and Road Initiative, the gender gap is not high on the party's agenda. On the streets in Beijing, residents say social and cultural obstacles, as well as the big role that women play at home, is also to blame.
There are a lot of women in civil service positions at local level, but it is difficult for them to work their way up to higher positions because they don't have as much time as men.
Women contribute much more when it comes to family. It is rare, too, for companies to give women top leadership positions. They are usually given secondary or deputy positions.
In China, the retirement age for women is 55, 5 years younger than it is for men. And a key reason for that is so women can take care of the elderly and grandchildren. Many we spoke with say they pay no attention to politics, and some say that's because politics is just too dirty, tricky, and chaotic.
Women seem to be less interested in politics. These days, women are much more apolitical than they were before the 1980s, when Chairman Mao stressed that women hold up half the sky.
Some argue women's interests are looked after, even though they may not hold as many top party posts. Others, like one woman who spoke with VOA off camera, say they're not interested in politics because it just doesn't speak to them or offer their life anything of value.
Good? Good, sir. All right. Definitely.
They're talking about like they didn't put the new one in. It was just the bottom and the